Alright, so let's go ahead and complete the rim. On the inside, see, this is the outside. Now on the inside, what I'm going to do is come in here and select this ring again of faces. I'm just going to click on one and double click the second one, holding the shift key down, and that selects the entire rim. Now I'm going to come over here to Edit Mesh, Extrude, and I'm going to extrude those faces out. Oops. Go to my world space, and extrude those out, and just as we did before, go ahead and do that again to the inner ring. Edit Mesh, Extrude. Click on that to get world space here. Okay, and come back in here and drop in the edge loops that are going to preserve the shape. And depending on how close you put these edge loops to those corners is how sharp those corners are going to be. Okay, so let's give that a try. And of course, when you're building for games, you would not typically put all these edge loops in a rim. A rim appearance on the inside as well as the outside now. Alright, there are a number of different ways that you can attack the spokes depending on the style that you're going for. You can begin by, let's see, if you want to create spoked rims and you know how many spokes you have a style that you're trying to achieve, you can begin by creating one spoke and rotating that around, keeping it an instanced object. You can continue to work on one spoke. So let's give that a try. I'm going to Polygon Primitives, and I'm just going to give myself a cylinder to work with. Okay, now I have a simple cylinder. I'm going to come in here and let's see, give myself more height on that. I'm going to very sensitive, so let's do a 6 on that. Just take it down a little bit, and I'm going to give myself a few less subdivisions here. I'll start with 10. Going up to 12 here, and I'm going to give myself a couple of height subdivisions. I don't want an end cap, so I'll make that easier by making it one object. Okay, now let's go ahead and get rid of those end caps right away. Shift key down. Got them both. I'm just going to delete those. I'm going to take this object and I'm going to rotate it. And put it into place here. Let's go 90 degrees. And put it in the center. Alright, so let's go on to side view here. I'm going to maintain that my my object pivot is in the center. Those of you who have insert on your keyboard, I do not. So this is an easier way for me to center my pivot and offset the object. You can simply snap the pivot to the end of the object and move it over, just so that you can see this a little bit better. Going back into my perspective mode. And I'm going up here to edit, duplicate special. So if I want, say, 4 spokes in there, I want each at rotate these instance copies 45 degrees, and there's 4 of them, so I have my settings. I'm going to instance them so that I can continue to work on one spoke and it'll affect the shapes and sizes of all of them. I have 90 degrees set in my rotate, and then I have the number of copies 4. So when I apply that, you can see that it gives me, rotates that object and copies an instanced object at each 90 degrees. Now, if you want 5 spokes in there, you can easily go back in here and give yourself 5 copies at, say, try that. Alright, so now that I have those in place, I can go back to my original copy and begin to modify that. So flatten that spoke out a little bit if I want it flatter. I can modify the shape just by selecting the sub-objects, so I can begin to shape it up the way that I want it. Perhaps I want to offset just some of the end ones a little bit. So this is one way that you can come in here and create spokes now. So that's one way to create spokes, and of course you'll want to come in here and give yourself a cylinder over the top of that. We can do that here really quickly. Let's see. Just go into side view, come back up, polygon, cylinder, and give yourself a cylinder. Center that on. Keep on my Mac keyboard, I keep hitting the command if you're wondering why this menu just keeps coming up. I'm going to, let's see, I've got 5 here, so let's go with 10 subdivisions here, and keep that the way it is, and we'll just bring down the radius a little bit more. You can bring that down manually too by scaling it. Okay, and let's position that in at 0, 0, 0 so that we can incorporate that into our design. Now you can see that by going with double the number, that I pretty closely have them lined up and subdivided to line up with the spokes. So now what I'm going to do is come in here and let's see, I'm going to scale it down just a little bit more. Alright, now I'm going to come in here and grab the faces of every other one. Okay, so now I have just the outside faces selected here. Alright, so let's go ahead and extrude these out to start with, and this is another method actually for creating straighter spokes. If you have straighter spokes that you want to put in, you come right up here to extrude, and let's go ahead and extrude those out. Okay, extrude again. So let's see, we can scale those down a bit on the ends. Now let's go ahead and position those. Maybe they come out like that. And let's try extruding again. And since I don't have a design, I'm just kind of winging it. But you get the idea of how you can apply these methods to the type of spokes that you're doing. Alright, and again I'm going to scale those. And you can move those into position. Alright, it's looking a little crowded, so let's go ahead and at this point you know how to create more curvature, more curved pieces, so we'll go ahead and hide these for now. Okay. Now we have a very simplified version here. I'm going to move that into position a little bit better. I'm thinking this rim is a little bit too thick. I think I have them all here now. Alright, I'm just going to scale this up and out of the way a little bit more. So that's more of the wheel appearance that I'm looking for. I'm going to scale those down just a little bit also. Bring them in so that gives me room for my spokes. And if I now go ahead and smooth that. Good. Alright, now I can go ahead and put these into position a little bit easier. Alright. Let's sit that right inside the lip there. So you can kind of get an idea. Now what I'm going to do is create a little bit of detail, and you can go crazy with detail on rims if you'd like. I'm just going to show you just a little bit though. I'm going to use Extrude. Extrude is my favorite tool for the creating definition in this kind of object. It's symmetrical and very easy to create with this method. So do that again. And the Y. Give myself a little bit more here. Okay, again. Extrude. Again in the Y.